Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting radicals. So I have a radical expression here. I have negative 3 radical 12 plus 3 radical 3 plus 3 radical 20. Now when we add radicals, what we have to try to do is get like radicals. Because radicals are like variables. It's like having an x and a y and a z. I'm trying to simplify it so that I can combine all my like terms, or my like radicals in this case. So to simplify radicals, I just have to figure out what the perfect squares are and hope that there are enough terms to combine. So in 12, there's a perfect square of 4 and 3. 3 doesn't have a perfect square, and 20's perfect square is 4 and 5. So I rewrite that. I leave the negative 3 on the outside, 4 times 3 here, leave that alone, and 4 times 5 here. The 4 gets to come out because it's a perfect square, so is that one there. Now again, when they come out, they multiply. So I have negative 3 times 2, because the 4 comes out, it becomes a 2, radical 3, plus 3 radical 3, plus 3 times 2, radical 5. And again, this 2, because when the 4 comes out, it becomes a 2. Or think of it as the square root of 4 is 2. Now I'm going to simplify what's on the outside. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So I have negative 6. This still comes down, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Now I combine my like radicals. This is a radical 3, and this is a radical 3. So those two terms can combine, but this radical 5 cannot. When I combine them, I'm just going to add the coefficients, just like when you combine x's or y's or z's. So negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3, radical 3 again, plus 6 radical 5, because this cannot combine with anything. So this right here is my final answer. Let's do another one. Number 2 here, simple enough. 3 radical 3 minus radical 27. Again, I have to get like radicals, so I'm just going to simplify the radical 27 and hope that something will combine. If nothing combines, it doesn't matter because I'm still simplified as much as possible, which is also the correct way to solve these problems. So 3 radical 3 does not simplify, but the 27 does. A perfect square in 27 is 9, and then multiplied by 3. So I have 3 radical 3 minus radical 9 times 3. When the 9 comes out, it becomes a 3, because the square root of 9 is 3. So I have 3 radical 3 minus 3 radical 3. I have like radicals, because I have a radical 3 and a radical 3. So I'm just going to subtract the coefficients now. 3 minus 3, 0. Now you could say it's 0 radical 3, but that still equals 0. Let's do one more. Oh, 2 more. Sorry, I have 2 more examples for you. Number 3 here. I have negative 3 radical 18 plus 3 radical 8 minus radical 24. Now when I look at these, I know that I have perfect squares in these, so I'm going to try to find a perfect square. 18 has 9 and 2, 8 has 4 and 2, and 24 has 6 and 4. So I leave the negative 3 out here, then 18 simplifies to 9 and 2, 8 is 4 and 2, and 24 is 6 and 4. So again, I'm going to circle my perfect squares here, and those are going to come out. When they come out, they multiply. So I have negative 3 times 3, radical 2, plus 3 times 2, radical 2, minus 2, radical 6. There's an invisible 1 out here, so you can think of this as 1 times 2, which is just 2, radical 6. So again, now I'm going to simplify what I have here. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9, radical 2. 3 times 2 is 6, radical 2, minus 2, radical 6. Now I can see what I can combine. I have like radicals here and here. So I'm going to combine the coefficients. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3, radical 2 again. And then I just bring down the 2 radical 6 because that doesn't combine with anything. So this is my final answer. Let's do one more. This is a long one. I have negative 3 radical 45 plus 2 radical 12 plus 3 radical 6 minus 3 radical 20. I have to find a perfect square for all of these if there exists one, and then try to combine them. So 45 is 9 and 5, where 9 is the perfect square. 12 can simplify to 3 and 4, where 4 is the perfect square. 6 does not have a perfect square, and 20 has 5 and 4, where 4 is the perfect square. So now all of these perfect squares are going to come outside, and when they come outside the radical, remember they multiply. So I have negative 3 times 3, radical 5, plus 2 times 2, radical 3, plus 3 radical 6, minus 3 times 2, radical 5. Simplify the outsides. I get negative 9 radical 5, plus 4 radical 3, plus 3 radical 6, minus 6 radical 5. My my like terms are radical 5 and radical 5 here. So I can combine those to make negative 15 radical 5. The radical 3 and the radical 6 don't have anything to combine with, so I just bring those down, and that is my final answer. And that is how you multiply radicals. That's how you combine radicals by adding and subtracting. We'll do multiplication on the next one.